On the New Brunswick coast of the Bay of Fundy, just west of St. John, there is an estuary called Musquash. It is a zone where fresh and salt water meet and mix to create a self-enriching system. As ecosystems, estuaries are comparable to rainforests and coral reefs in biological production. In 1998, the Conservation Council of New Brunswick, under its Marine Conservation Program, released a report on the state of estuaries in the Bay of Fundy. The report found that every significant estuary except one has been impacted by major industrial, resource, or residential development. Only the Musquash estuary remains relatively undeveloped, still functioning ecologically, much as it always has. The Conservation Council, with the support of the Fundy North Fishermen's Association and local community organizations, nominated the Musquash Estuary as a marine protected area under the Canada Oceans Act. This designation protects the estuary from harmful future development. The Musquash covers 27 square kilometers, from the mouth of Musquash Harbour, reaching inland to the head of tide on the east and west branches of the Musquash River. The outer boundary of the protected area follows a line from Gooseberry Island on the western edge, across the mouth of the harbour to Musquash Head on the eastern edge. The low tide limit marks the landward boundary. Supporting a valuable lobster fishery, these waters are populated by many fish species. A keen eye can often catch a glimpse of harbour porpoise and seals feeding on herring and flounder. The rocky shoreline of Musquash Harbour is the first of 3 dominant habitats within the estuary. The islands provide nesting areas for several species of seagulls, cormorants, and ducks. The intertidal zone is largely covered in thick beds of rockweed, where common eiders like to feed. Irish moss and kelp beds are found in the subtidal zone. These seaweeds help fuel the biological productivity of the estuary and surrounding coastal waters. These waters are home to a multitude of sea life, including crabs, starfish, and mussels. The estuary is a nursery and feeding area for several saltwater fish, and those that historically migrated to freshwater streams to spawn. Traveling through Musquash Harbour, away from the open bay, the rocky shoreline gives way to large tidal mudflats, an often underappreciated habitat. Home to abundant seaworms and mud shrimp, these mudflats provide a feast for shorebirds that fuel up here on annual migrations. Great blue herons feed on small fish at the edge of the tide. The flats also provide the right conditions for soft-shell clams and support a small commercial harvest. Moving inland, beyond the mudflats, the estuary transforms into extensive salt marshes cut through by several tidal creeks. This third primary habitat is dominated by cordgrass and marsh hay, the source of nutrients in the estuary and to the bay beyond. Musquash contains the largest intact salt marsh remaining on the New Brunswick side of the Bay of Fundy. Plant species in the estuary are typical of Fundy coastal and marsh zones. Seaside plantain, often called goose tongue, is common. Its leaves can be cooked and eaten. Glasswort, also known as samphire, is another edible plant. The purple-blue flower of sea lavender or sea heather blooms on the marshes in midsummer. Beach pea and oyster plant flourish just above the tidal limit on sand and gravel beaches. Colorful lichens are common. Canada geese and various species of ducks use the marshes as breeding and feeding grounds, and as a stopover point in their yearly migrations. Where forest meets salt marsh, bald eagles, ospreys, owls, and several species of hawks nest and prey on fish and small rodents. Deer frequently come to graze on the marsh, often gathering in large numbers. Estuaries are a key link in the marine environment, supporting a rich diversity of life. Healthy estuaries are essential to healthy marine ecosystems. They contribute to a complex web of life, from the smallest invertebrates to the largest mammals. The Musquash Estuary contributes to the economy of nearby fishing communities and provides new opportunities for ecotourism. The Musquash Estuary is a sanctuary of natural beauty and ecological integrity along a coastline that has been impacted by industrialization, resource harvesting, and coastal development. Now a marine protected area under the authority of the Canada Oceans Act, the management efforts of Fisheries and Oceans Canada, with the participation of the Conservation Council and other organizations, and the ongoing stewardship of local residents, will ensure that Musquash remains an ecological reference point for generations to come.